No, this is a pain in the butt. It's really, they're so small, turning them around and renovating them again is not, it's not crazy. See the water line on the window, that's what we got. And we'll come in here with Clorox and kill everything, and then we'll just put it back together. The water got up to high enough that we're gonna go ahead and change all the receptacles out. We took the kitchen cabinets out, the bottom ones. These are brand new cabinets. It's still kind of wet, so we'll leave the air conditioning running for a few more days before we start putting this one back together. So over there, you see that? There's a refrigerator. Somebody's refrigerator floated down through here. So here we are. If you look across the street, you see the dumpster over there. So what we got over there is we have, those two units are fine. They didn't get enough water in them. Everything underneath that got flooded. This unit over here, we bought this after Hurricane Ian, and we renovated it. So this one is a situation where, you know, this is, we had 13 of them get flooded total. So we got this nice big old tree here we're gonna have to cut up. You know, the last time we had a hurricane, there was a tree on the roof on the back, and we fixed that. So this is, we're having a high tide right now, and you can see how close it is to the dock. So basically, when Hurricane Milton came in and I was down here, that was up almost at the top of those poles, and that ramp was up like this. So this right here, we got 3 units in here. One of them is something that we weren't allowed to put in. We were going to tear it out, so now we're tearing it out for sure. We just hadn't gotten around to it. It was something where after the FEMA rules, you can't build anything additional unless you build it up. So this right here. Okay, so you see the water line. You see all this stuff sitting in here, and you see we've got some drywall pre-positioned. So we've already come in here, and the water got up to high enough that we're going to go ahead and change all the receptacles out. We took the kitchen cabinets out, the bottom ones. These are brand new cabinets from when we renovated this. We haven't had this renovated for not even a year now. So we took all the drywall out 4 foot up, and we're going to put it right back together, and bada bing, bada boom. We've let this dry out. We ran the air conditioning in here. It sucks the moisture out that way. It's pretty dry at this point. This back here is still kind of wet, so we'll leave the air conditioning running for a few more days before we start putting this one back together. So this one over here, you can see over to the next unit over there. These are the lanais. This is on in Bonita. So a lot of this stuff is going to be perfectly fine. A lot of this stuff, if it's particle board or engineered wood is what they call it, it's going to be shot. If it's regular wood, we'll just see, watch it for a minute. Most of the time you can just clean it and you could put it back together. These drawers and stuff like that, they came from the vanities. That's part of a kitchen. All these washers and dryers and stuff, if they got water up on them, we're just going to toss them. This unit right here was a garage, and we bootlegged this in, and we were already notified by Bonita that we couldn't have it, and we were in the process of waiting to get through some of our reservations, and then we were taking it out. We already took out those 2. We had built them out. So those over there, we took them out, did the permitting process. That was all finalized. This one we still had to go. So in here, same thing. So we went ahead and went 4 feet up. We took out the bottom cabinets. We can match them really easy. They're Home Depot wood cabinets. This one's still drying out. It's still pretty wet in there. This is still wet in here too. So the air conditioning is not working very good in here. I can feel it. So we will, I'll have somebody come over and check this out. It could just be the amount of moisture in the air. So this is what happens. This is what you got to do after a hurricane hits. So we have been through this from Hurricane Ian. So when it hit, we just get over it real quick and we just put it back together. There's not much we can do about it other than elevate these houses, which we're not going to do. If we get to that point on this one, we'll probably just demolish this. It's got a really good location and we'll build something, another duplex here. So when you guys see me covering this stuff, if there's victims, I'm a victim. We got hit pretty hard. So this is just one of them that we did. We did try to protect them, and what we think we missed on these is we didn't fix the, we didn't close in the dryer vents. So the guys did all this protection, but they didn't do the dryer vents. That unit right there, when we're done, we're going to strip it all the way back and take it all the way out. Now let's go across the street and see if we can get in over there. So this over here, since we had to remove these units about a year ago, or maybe 8 months ago, we've been using this for storage, for inventory at our shop. And so we got a bunch of stuff in here that has value to us. We could sell. We haven't sold it yet. And that dumpster's sitting here because we're going to put all of it in that dumpster. Hey, how you like that? Okay, it's going to be kind of hard to see in here. Now a lot of this stuff is stuff that we took out of other units and brought over here. Okay, this is all stuff that's that can take the hurricane weather. Okay, all these doors that you see, there's 100 of them here. They're all doors that we were saving up to do different renovations with or to sell. So every one of them, they're going to go into that dumpster. So on the other side, there's another unit right here. So if you've been watching our videos for a while, you'll know that this system right here was really, really bama jamma. We had it sitting here. We had it on eBay or Craigslist for like $7 grand. So these are chairs we took off the dock so they wouldn't disappear. So these couches, very expensive couches, but they're shot now. So all this stuff here, everything in here, all this, we're going to throw all of it away. So $7,000. We had this on for about $3,000, and we have some other furniture in here that's just ruined. So a lot of this stuff, like these things here, they'll be fine. They were elevated enough. These were 2 units that we built out after Hurricane Ian, and Bonita Springs had us tear them out because of the FEMA rules. You're not allowed to build anything from anything on your lower levels, period. It's actually very depressing, honestly. But we'll put them back together. We have a crew that works for us specifically, and all they do is they do this kind of stuff. So they're used to it because we've done so much of it after Hurricane Ian. So we're going to go down to this other complex we have. We have an old Girl Scout fishing camp, and it's got a bunch of units on it. So we're going to head down there, and we're going to check out what we got to deal with over there. Hey, and then we're getting on the wave runners, and we're going to run over to Fort Myers Beach. We're taking them back to my house, but we're going to go and we're going to go around the island and see if there's anything to see, anything that happened from Hurricane Ian. So, all right, let's go. Let's head on over there. To the Bat Cave. No, just kidding. I was in a much better mood before we came over here. Oh, so much work. Now all of this stuff is insured. All of it is stuff that will get replaced, and I can be the contractor on it with Remove It Pros. And I mean, relatively speaking, it'll go fairly quickly. The fortunate thing is I don't have to wait for other people's schedule. That's the key to this whole thing for me. So if you look through the windows here, you see all the different hurricane debris that's being put out. And this is all these houses right here are on canals. They're Gulf access canals that have been dug in off the Imperial River here in Bonita Springs. And we've already, Hurricane Helene had flooded out one of our units over here. And we were working on that. We came back over, grabbed the cabinets and everything in it, and put them back at the shop into storage. And so basically it saved us all the cabinets again, so we didn't have to buy them again. So we're going to walk through all of these over here, and that's Jennifer, who works for us. She's our Airbnb girl. And this is the mess. This is the mess we're dealing with. Now this building right here, we just rebuilt this building, and we rebuilt it with a bunch of reused stuff that we got from our reusable warehouse. The roof on this, the windows, most of the furniture, like that handrail, a whole bunch of stuff on this has been repurposed. You got my camera too?
It's in the back.
Okay, great. This ended up getting water inside. Talon actually had his truck up on blocks inside of here to keep it from getting flooded. It got about 2 foot inside. So that got flooded. I'd like to know who was driving through here. Our water line's right there. So back in here we have, I can't get in there without a screwdriver. You don't have a screwdriver on you. Somebody borrowed my knife and never gave it back to me. How you like that? So anyway, this one got flooded. You can tell by, that's the vanity. So as to whether we can use that vanity again or not, I don't know. But the rest of this, so all this stuff here has all got to be replaced. Jennifer, you got a screwdriver on you so I can get in these units?
No, you can just pinch it and open it. Logan showed me how.
You got the pinch and open thing going on? So how are you holding up with all this going on?
I'm taking it minute by minute, task by task. I can't seem to get Sea Turtle. You have you pinch it and pull it there you go. But Sea Turtles doesn't have a pinchers, but the back door will work. The back door, you can just get another one.
Okay, cool. All right, so this unit didn't have as much damage, so this will be relatively easy. Relatively easy. So we were hoping to save this, but we're not going to be able to. Now these are shaker, so we can match that pretty easily. The stove should be fine. It's low enough. The stove, these things are high enough, then they didn't get water in them. So this right here, this will be kind of a minor renovation. Still a pain, but minor compared to the ones we just looked at. So some of this stuff is going to be reusable. Most of it is not. Some of it that we think is reusable or probably won't be reusable. The nice thing about the dryer vents on this one is they're up high. So this is another unit. Let's go back to that yellow unit. So my body right now is going, because this is my first time walking through all this stuff. Logan's been handling all this. I've been doing other things. And I just wanted to come over and get an idea what's going on. All right, so this is another one that was impacted in a minor fashion. The fact that it's below the electric is a big deal. So in here, we're just moving around the air, letting the air conditioner pull the moisture out. Fortunately, this has got tile, so it won't be as big a deal to switch out. Some of these had VCT. A lot of people, they sell you on this VCT idea. You know, it's vinyl plank flooring. It's waterproof, yeah, but you still have to take it up, dry it out, and put it back down. they very rarely go back together very well. So that's something that you need to know if you're thinking about doing vinyl plank. It's better just to spend a little bit more and do the tile. So that's, let's go look at the one on the other side. So these are duplexes. That used to be the laundry room, believe it or not. That's a tiny home for us. That stuff right there has been there since Hurricane Ian. So this whole street down through here floods when there's a hurricane. So right in here is our laundry room. And as you see from the last storm, we got smart and we put everything up high. It's higher than it has to be. No hot water heater. We use forced in. This one here, again, a very minor amount of work, and we'll have this backing up and running. This might take us a week maybe to get it put back together. The jury's out on whether we could save those or not. And you know, we're moving air in here, we're moving the air around so that the air conditioners can suck the air out of it. A lot of these we have dehumidifiers in, and we'll just keep moving them around. So the way we ended up getting this property is where the purple house is. We tore down a house there. When we tore down the house there, we forgot to final out the permit. Once you final out the permit, you have 1 year you can rebuild a unit. Well, we tore down the house, ended up later on, this lady, the city of Bonita Springs was forcing her to tear this whole place down because she was trying to manage it from California, and she kept getting people in here who were partying and disrupting the neighborhood. And I asked her a crazy question, and she said yes, and we came in here, renovated it the first time, got code enforcement satisfied, and then we went and got it refinanced and bought it from her. So we've had this for, geez, I guess 5 years now. So now this one here, this is this one got about 10 inches of water. So again, we got shaker cabinets in almost all of these. So it's easy to get shaker cabinets for the lowers and match them up. These are really cute little bungalows. This is old Florida style. Even though this is a pain in the butt, it's really, they're so small, turning them around and renovating them again is not, it's not crazy. I mean, it could be a lot worse, let's put it that way. So, all right, let's go check out the next one. So all in total, total from this storm, we will have, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, my house 10, 11, that one flooded, 12, 13, 14, one of them's getting removed completely. So we do own our own equipment and stuff, so we have, we're not moving stuff around twice, and we're not putting stuff out on the curb. It looks like hell when you do that, and it takes a long time for them to get to your street. So if you don't pile stuff up in front of your place, well, you don't have to look at it as long. And then you got to make sure nobody else piles stuff up in front of your place. So here's another one. You can see the water line on this one. See the water line on the door. All right, back in here, same thing. Now these, we're going to come back in here and put tile in them. We had VCT in here. This is the second time that we'll be pulling this out of here. So same thing in here. I believe we can find those and match those. This is another unit. Same thing, but this one's still pretty wet. We didn't look at this one, did we? Hey, look, one of my scuba tanks was floating around. We was using that for decoration. All right, so here's another one. Again, that one on that side, this one here, and that one over there, we're gonna just put tile in it. Same thing there. We can match those cabinets close enough in there. And we got the same deal. So the benefit of being a contractor is the fact that we got in and out of these pretty quick. Now we notified Bonita that we're gonna be putting these back together so that we are following their permit rules. And Logan's been taking pictures as he goes. So, all right, so I got 2 more here and then one around the corner. You know, and everything we got sitting outside means we're not going to do anything with it. So this one, same thing, we've got shaker cabinets again, just a foot or so of water got in here. Yes, sir. You are my hero. Okay, thank you, buddy. All right, thanks. All right, that was Eric letting me know that he got my boat lift fixed and I can bring the boat back to the house. So Logan and I were having breakfast this morning, come on out here, and we were talking about these properties and how to kind of protect ourselves the best we can. The unfortunate thing about these properties is just this piece right here is not cinder block. So what we were talking about doing is getting air dams, or not air dams, we're getting dams that you put across these, across the back, because if this is going to continue to happen, we don't want to keep renovating these. And if we could make a little quick fix like that, you see a lot of stuff like that in the Caribbean. When I was over in Venice, Italy, they get flooding events for a good portion of their year, and they have these little dams that they put in place and caulk them, and they hold back the water just fine. And then the people clean up, squeegee, and go right back to business. So who's to say we can't do that here? Now this one here, if we needed to, we could lift this. It wouldn't be much to lifting it. It's a little tiny 450 square foot house. So again, all our cabinets can be matched up pretty good with shakers. So this one is a complete frame house. And it's a little bit closer to the Imperial River here. And before Hurricane Ian, there had been no water in this stuff since 1964. So that's what kind of situation we're dealing with. So, I'm saying so a lot. What's up with that? I guess it's in my nature. I got it from Kenny. I'm blaming it on Kenny. Yeah. So we had talked to those people in that about buying that blue house over there. They're sick and tired of this getting flooded. If we did buy that, we were going to put a modular on it. So there's the wave runners. We keep them over here when we have a problem on the island, because then we know they're not going to let us back on, and we don't want to be told that we can't go to our own house. So, and as far as being safe, I'm a grown-ass man. I can be as safe as I want to be for myself. So, I mean, the fact that I almost killed Hudson, that's a whole different ball game. Just kidding. We went out there in the dark, and we ended up on a sandbar for about a half hour while we waited for the sun to come up. That was kind of fun. So this one ended up getting, is there a water line? Yeah. Yeah, this one got about 18 inches or 2 foot. So this one's really close to the Imperial River. The Imperial River right now is at flood height already. So we're gonna go ahead on this one, and we'll come in here with Clorox and kill everything, and then we'll just put it back together, and we'll get on to it for the next one, you know? And hopefully it's not for 5 years or 6 years, so I can go through a little bit of therapy first. So, if you were to rent one of these from us, you want to come to Florida, this is a cool little thing. This used to be a Girl Scout fishing camp back in 1964 when they put it in. The water, the Imperial, is right there. It typically floods from time to time, but it doesn't get in the house. Now this time you see the water line on the window. That's what we got. So again, everything we have is so small, they're really easy to turn around. Let's walk down by the water and take a look at that. When Hurricane Ian came through, there was a boat lift out here and a whole nice dock that had been out there for years and years and years, and it just disappeared. And then, believe it or not, down there by Little Hickory Pass, I saw it floated all the way down there. It was Trex. It was built out of Trex. I could see just part of the deck was down there. So this right here is very close to coming over to Seawall again. Kind of having a really high tide today. These are wonderful if you're ever going to buy docks. These easy docks are awesome. They take hurricanes really, really well. So we're going to take off on these wave runners, and we're going to go check out Fort Myers Beach and see what the impacts were from the water. All right, here we go. So this is the Imperial River, and this is days after the flooding, and we're still at a high tide, really, really abnormal high tide, even behind my house down on Fort Myers Beach. So that blue house there, they flood every time we flood. They got to be getting sick and tired of it. So this is beautiful. This is why we live here. We had that one up for under contract, that white one, when Hurricane Ian hit 2 years ago, and we had that one and another one tied up, and we ended up just telling them we just had too much to do. So we ended up not closing on it. Same thing with the one, we have one tied up in Mount Lachey, and both really good deals, but you know, there's only so much you can handle. So that's iMold right there. They are a mold remediation company. That's who your insurance company's going to tell you to call. There's a lot that goes into that. We don't trust the insurance companies to pay us at the end of the day, but there's a lot of money in that business. Skill level is questionable on most of the companies. You know, it is what it is. We need every little egg in the egg carton to make it all go round. So this is more or less a flood event for this Imperial River. So that house right there, after Hurricane Ian, had gotten creamed. We've done a bunch of work on it. This one over here, and you could get closer to me. We're going to do about this speed for about 1.5 miles. So the biggest thing when you're in the water after something like this happens is you got to know that there's things floating in the water that can hurt your boat. So you just got to be careful. Wave runners are incredibly durable, very hard to damage, other than scratching them. Very easy to scratch, but very hard to damage them to the point where they won't float. So you see that little thing sticking out of the water there, that stick? So that stick's connected to something. So you don't want to get close to something like that. That also, because I live here, I know that that's really, really shallow right there. Even though the Imperial River is at flood stage for some reason. I never looked at the tide chart. It's just a high tide we're having right now. So over there, you see that? There's a refrigerator. Somebody's refrigerator floated down through here. Hurricane Milton hits. We go to the police and say, hey, can we go across? Well, you'll need a four-wheel drive vehicle. Hey, this is a Jeep. We have a four-wheel drive vehicle. Well, I'm not authorized to let you go to your house on the island. I said, what for? He said, well, because of safety. I said, well, if you don't let us go, guess what we're going to do? We're going to go get on some wave runners, and we're going to go anyway, in the dark. I said, which is more safe? Well, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I understand you're just doing your job. So we come out, we get all the way to here. Okay, now I kind of know where I'm at, but guess what? There's no lights. There's no reference points for me to look off into the distance. Normally I could see these high rises and I could see the lights on them. It's pitch black. We can't see anything. So we make it all the way to here. We just came about 6 miles on the water. If you notice us moving, if you could tell that we're moving, the tide is going back out. So at any rate, we got stuck over there. It's only about a foot deep there. And this high tide is probably 2 foot or 3 foot deep. Then, if you look over here, we got stuck over there. And I wasn't sure where I was at because it was so freaking dark. So I fired up my phone. We're in ankle deep water and we're stuck up on them with these wave runners. And I know where I'm at. I'm not freaking out. The guy with me, he's kind of new to this. And I'm thinking to myself, I bet he's flipping the straight out. But he wasn't, so that's cool. So at any rate, I said, look, let's just wait a half hour. It's gonna get light and we'll be able to see where we're going. It'll be a lot easier. So meanwhile, it's pitch black. I know I'm close to New Pass. Look where it was at. It was that close and we couldn't see it. And there's no cars going over it because they had the road shut down. So we're right by that island over there in about this much water, pulling our wave runners back. And then it got light enough and we busted a move and we're not a mile from my house. But you see them high rises way down in the distance? Well, those are my reference points. Well, the whole island's black. There's no power. So I couldn't see them. So we're this close to that bridge and couldn't tell. So we ended up just waiting it out, and so that's pretty much it. I thought that's kind of an interesting story. The thing about it is you think, okay, that's crazy. Well, if you live here and you know what I know, from this is the channel. It's probably 6 or 6 feet maybe. But if I go right over there by that green thing, or I go right over here, it's only a foot or 2 foot. I could walk out of here. All the way over there, it won't get over my waist. So I know that. So I know that if I screw everything up, I'll have to walk to the shore. I might have to swim across the channel. The channel's going to be 5 feet at the shallowest point, and probably 10 feet in some spots. But that's something you know if you live here, because guess what? You got stuck on all that stuff at some point in time. You bumped into this, you bumped into that, or you've seen somebody else, so you kind of know. So that's why I don't think it's crazy or outrageous, but that's me. I'm kind of a risk taker anyway. So anyway, we're heading back over to my house. We're going to get some fuel for that wave runner, and we're going to go around Fort Myers Beach and just see if there's anything to see. That is a pallet of OSB plywood. There are 50 sheets of plywood in that. That was floating around in the water and ended up over here on Lover's Key. So talk about some whacked out stuff that happens when you have a hurricane. So not much to see from the shore, but that I thought was really cool and I thought I'd share it with you. So we've had a really, really high tide rushing back in out to the ocean. Look at how strong it is. We left Imperial River, and it was pretty far up. So this is the bridge that they are fixing, or actually they're replacing, and they're fixing it because it's coming apart. If you look at it really closely, you see where they patched it down here, but they're making all kinds of patches and stuff, and it's starting to spawn and come apart faster than they can fix it. All this stuff you see hanging everywhere, they just never fixed it after Hurricane Ian, because what's the point? They're going to take it out anyway. So there's the police back there. They're probably wondering what the heck are we doing out here, and we're wondering what the heck are they doing out here. So we're it's wave runners. I own a boat and own wave runners. Wave runners are universally hated. They don't like them, and they're always figuring that you're doing something wrong. So hopefully they're going to leave us alone. We went about 3 miles down on the other side. There's nothing to see. Went on this side, there's really not much to see. They are backfilling over here on Leonardo Arms. It looks like they're using rock. So basically they got all the dead men on the other side of that hold that wall in place, and they're covering it up. If you look back here, look at this thing in the water. That's some of what's left of our mangroves, and it's way out here. Some of this down here I noticed is really shallow, really shallow, and this is really high tide. So that means some of that sand built up that back there, and it's way offshore, like 150, 200 feet. This right here, that's Leonardo. The Arms used to have 200 foot of sand in front of it here, and through the different storms over the years, it's been erased. The beach renourishment's supposed to put 200 foot of sand back out here when it gets here. They're starting way down there at the other end. They've only gotten about a mile, and they've had Milton, Debbie, and Helene to deal with. So they'll be getting back to it in a minute. There used to be all along in front of all of these buildings here, the brown and blue buildings, there used to be a really heavy set of mangroves. There is some of it left, but it looks like it's all dead. So this right here, they're getting ready. Hopefully they're going to have 200 foot of sand in front of them, and they're not going to have this washing out again. We're hoping that we're at the end of this nasty cycle. So there basically isn't anything to see from the water. So we brought the wave runners back. We're going to go put them up, and we're going to get back to work. We're going to drone the whole island and just look at the debris that came out, just to show you that. We're also going to run down to Margaritaville real quick, and we got started on Margaritaville. Margaritaville is talking about taking out their seawall, in which case we'll be doing that, hopefully. I don't know if they're going to get multiple bids or not, but we're looking at that right now. And emotionally, there they are right there. Emotionally, I am, after walking through and seeing all that stuff all in one half-hour segment, my body is just so stressed. We will continue to cover this as it goes on, but we're going to get back to our we've got a really interesting video this weekend. We actually found some really cool stuff that it's called a junk removal demo guy's fantasy. So we hit one of those very rare situations, and you're going to see that on Friday's video. So we're heading back. That's it. Thank you. We'll see you on the next video.